I was once asked to create a timesheet for some people in the office, and so I'd like to show you in Microsoft Excel a simple way to do that. In my particular example, what I did was I started out with an employee's name, which we see in cell number B2, and when we have a start date and an end date. And in this case, the start date is equal to the A5 date, and the end date is now on the A18 date down here. So this would be a half-month pay period. And then I computed an hourly rate, and we'll use that in our calculations. Then along the left side, I just started with a date, and then I copied it down sequentially. I started with the day of the week and did the same thing. The key to this timesheet, obviously, is the formulas for the time. Now, I created this one in order to log in and log out 3 times a day. If someone were to do it more, we'd have to have more columns. But this gives at least 3 opportunities to check in and check out. And in order to put the time in correctly, I put a note near the bottom. I'm going to scroll down so you can see it. I say enter any information in the fields, and you'll see a red font and a white background. Here's how you enter your hours. Hour, colon, minute, followed by a space, and then A or P for AM or PM. I'll enter one just here on Thursday to show you. I will type in the number 8 and then a colon, and then 00, then a space, and A for AM. So if someone starts at 8 in the morning, let's assume that they work without a break until 8 p.m., 8 colons, 00, space, P for PM, and notice it calculated the number of hours as 12 hours, which is what we are expecting. So that's how they enter the information in. It's kind of nice to have a little note at the bottom so people can see in case they don't do it right. For example, I might be in a hurry and type 8 colon 00 enter, and it figured I wanted AM. But if I was writing in the afternoon and put 2, it automatically defaults to AM, and I have a -6 hours. So I don't want to do that. So if they enter in the right, if the garbage in, garbage out is our old recommendation. So I'll put 2 p.m. here. Now, all we have to do once we have the time in and time out is come up with a formula to calculate the hours at work. And over here I have how a formula starts. Okay, we're just going to look at the first 2 columns. The formula will start with, in this row, cell D6, which is over here, minus cell C6 over here, times 24. Now you may say, well, why did you multiply it by 24? Well, because there are 24 hours in a day. Let me do it without that. Let's say equals 2, then we'll do cell D6, and I'll put minus, and I'll put C6, and just press enter, and I get this number, which isn't helpful at all. Okay, but if I want to add just the difference in the first 2, I go up to my formula bar, I'll put these in the parenthesis, and multiply times 24, and I get 1, which is number of hours worked in that particular case. So this is the core formula. Now if we look at the actual formula I put for 3 columns of in and out, here's what I used. I repeated the same thing for each of them. I take D6 minus C6 times 24, and then I do the same thing with F6 and E6 times 24. Notice again the double parentheses to make sure my math is working right, and then I go to column G and H, and I do the same thing. I take H6 minus G6 and take the result of that, multiply times 24. And if I had another column, I would do the same thing. So this is your core formula calculating the number of hours. And then when we come to the salary, all we do is we'll click on cell J6. Well, what it is, we take cell I6, which is the cell immediately to the left, which is my total hours, and then I multiply by cell I2. Now notice I have the absolute reference. I have the dollar sign in front of the I and the dollar sign in front of the number 2 coordinate, and so it will always go to cell I2 no matter where I copy this from. And if the salary changes, let's change, so they get erased to 1425. And I put an enter in, all of a sudden all my numbers change. Very nice. And so this is a very simple way of creating a timesheet in Microsoft Excel. One other thing you might want to notice is I put a tab on here to cover the time period of the first pay period of the year. I can also create multiple sheets, multiple tabs for every pay period, and then I have one that's a year to date that I can run. Here I only have the one actually constructed, but we could have 24 of these for 24 pay periods in a year, and it would actually do the gross totals for the entire period. So it's a nice way to begin to build a timesheet in Microsoft Excel. I'm Jim from the Sharper Turtle. We hope this tutorial has been helpful for those of you who have wanted to create a timesheet in Microsoft Excel. Take these tools and build on them, and you'll find that you can create something pretty powerful in not much time. If you find this lesson useful, we'd like to ask you to like us, comment on it below, and subscribe to our YouTube channel here at the Sharper Turtle. Thank you so much.